There's this one book. It's a full century old, all about these wild parties and a super mysterious millionaire, but we are still completely captivated by it. The Great Gatsby. So, what's the deal? Why can't we seem to look away? Let's dig in and uncover the timeless ideas that make this classic feel like it could have been written just for us, today.
The key to understanding this entire story, it's right there in the novel's iconic final line. I mean, it just perfectly captures this haunting idea that we're all kind of struggling against our own history, right? Fighting to move forward, but always getting pulled back into the past. This one sentence, it sets the whole stage for a story about memory, desire, and a dream that's always just out of reach. And at the absolute heart of that story is one of America's most powerful myths, and, well, the man who became its most tragic symbol. At its core, this novel is all about the American dream, that powerful, super optimistic belief in endless possibility. It's the engine that drives our main character, and it's the glittering, fragile world he builds all around himself. A world built on the promise that if you just work hard enough, anything is possible.
And here he is. Meet Jay Gatsby, the ultimate poster boy for the American dream. He basically materializes out of thin air, completely reinvents himself, and somehow builds this incredible fortune. On the surface, he is the dream, a true self-made man. So what is all this for? What is Gatsby reaching for? Well, it all comes down to one single powerful symbol, a green light at the end of a dock. Now, this isn't just a light. For Gatsby, it's everything. It's the future he's chasing, sure, but more importantly, it's a past he is absolutely desperate to get back. A past with the woman he loves, Daisy Buchanan. But see, Gatsby doesn't just build a dream, he builds an entire world to try and make it real. And it's in this world that we get a really sharp critique of wealth and social class in America. And this setup perfectly illustrates the book's central social conflict. On one side, you've got East Egg. This is the old money aristocrats, people like Tom and Daisy Buchanan, who inherited everything, their wealth, their status, their sense of entitlement. And then, on the other side, you have West Egg, the new money crowd, led by Gatsby. Their fortunes are flashy, they're loud, and they're looked at with a whole lot of suspicion. It's this total clash of cultures that, as we'll see, money alone just cannot fix. So what's Gatsby's main weapon in this social war? His legendary parties. They are just these unbelievable spectacles of excess, packed with people he doesn't even know. But here's the thing, they aren't just for fun. Every single party is a carefully constructed performance, like a giant glittering net he's casting across the bay, all in the desperate hope of catching one person's attention, Daisy's. It's a magnificent show, but it's ultimately completely empty. And watching over all this frantic, dazzling activity are the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. They're just a faded ad on a billboard, looming over this industrial wasteland called the Valley of Ashes. But these eyes become this incredibly powerful symbol, like a passive, godless gaze just watching over a world that has totally lost its moral compass. But all that wealth, all those parties, they were just tools. That was only half of Gatsby's dream. The other, and maybe more crucial ingredient, was his all-consuming, obsessive vision of love. And this is the question that really beats at the heart of the whole novel. Is Gatsby truly in love with the woman Daisy is now, or is he just obsessed with a memory, with this perfect, idealized version of her that represents everything he feels he lost? Status, security, and a past he can't get back. Our narrator, Nick, makes this incredibly revealing observation when Gatsby says this about Daisy. It just says it all. For Gatsby, Daisy and her wealth are completely intertwined. Her voice doesn't just sound beautiful to him, it sounds like old money, like legacy, the very thing he's spent his entire life trying to get his hands on. And that right there, that reveals the true nature of his dream. It's not about building a future with Daisy, it's about completely destroying the present so he can recreate the past. He genuinely believes that his money gives him the power to literally turn back time, to erase 5 whole years and get back to one perfect moment. It's a beautiful idea, but it's a profoundly dangerous one. A dream built on such a shaky foundation, well, it was always going to shatter. And when it finally does, the whole thing just unravels in one tragic final act. The collapse is just breathtakingly fast. It all starts with this brutal confrontation in a sweltering hotel room, and that's what really exposes his dream for the illusion it is. That leads directly to a horrific car crash that seals his fate, and it all ends with his murder, as he waits by his pool for a phone call from Daisy that is never ever going to come.
So what happens after he dies? After the hundreds and hundreds of guests who drank his champagne and danced to his music? This is how many people showed up to his funeral. 3. Just 3. Think about that for a second. The man who built an entire world designed to attract everyone, who filled his mansion with noise and chaos, he died in complete and total isolation. The minute that beautiful facade crumbled, there was absolutely no one left. So, after all that tragedy, we come all the way back to our original question. Why does this story still hit so hard a whole century later? I think Gatsby endures because its themes are still our themes. It's this razor-sharp critique of social class. It's a timeless warning about how dangerous it can be to get stuck idealizing the past. And it's this powerful exploration of how a beautiful dream can get twisted and corrupted. But ultimately, it just speaks to our own hopes, our own losses, and our own moments of feeling profoundly alone. And that leaves us with the novel's final, lingering question, one for you to think about. Is the American dream this beautiful promise of a better future that we should all be aspiring to? Or is it, like Gatsby's green light, a dangerous illusion that keeps us forever reaching for something we can never ever quite grasp? The answer, I think, is probably what keeps us all reading.